Hi fam, welcome to Monday Musings with Kissa, where I share what the heck happened last week, what's happening this week, and a story time, not in that particular order. This is the video companion to my Substack newsletter that I send out every Thursday, so if you're not already subscribed, there's a button somewhere here where you can do so, and content as of this recording is currently free. All right, so let's talk about last week. On the business side, we had a few projects under our belt. The first one was to start our website audit. That didn't get done per se, but I decided that we have to work on the color scheme and just kind of do a what's the status of the website where it is, and create a log of the things that we need to adjust, to fix, that we want to change, all of the things. So that's going to be step one. And as far as the week goes, last week we had to prioritize our production schedule at the beginning of the week because we had another set of orders that we wanted to make sure we were going to keep up with, and also kind of knock it out and get it out of the way, because that's something that I constantly worry about when it's not done. So if we can knock it out at the beginning of the week, that gives us more freedom toward the end of the week. And then for last week, it has been kind of the start of the pickup of our in-person markets again. So the end of the week ended up being farmers market production, which is totally okay. We focused on that, which is kind of why the website audit kind of took a pause. But don't worry, we're gonna get back into it, I promise. And then on the personal side, when it comes to the backyard project, we have finally completed phase 1 and phase 2 of our backyard renovation. So phase 1 was the pavers that we did to extend our patio. And then phase 2 was our concrete project, where we concreted the entire side yard of our backyard. So that is complete. Perfect timing, because rain is coming. Other thing we did was we did what I'm gonna call, let's say, project or phase 5A of our backyard renovation project, where originally we wanted to put turf down for the kids to play on, but we decided to do clover in the meantime, and it has been growing in really nicely. We're going to do another sprinkle of clover seed right before this week's rain, so that is going to be done, and we can let the natural rainwater rain that in, really get it hydrated so it can sprout and be nice and lush and green by the springtime. This week is going to be a short week. We have a holiday on Monday, and then my son Micah doesn't have school on Tuesday. So we're going to keep the kids home, but that means we only have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to get our work done. Totally okay. I've been thinking about it. It's been on my mind, and for once, I've actually not forgotten. Plan for the business this week is Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to start doing production again. And then Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be content days for me. So that's going to be the beginning half of the week. And then the second half of the week, business-wise, is going to be farmers market prep. So we have our Thursday farmers market, we have our Friday farmers market, and then we normally have a Saturday, but we're not doing Saturday this week because of Micah's birthday. So the later half of the week is going to be focused on farmers market production and then personal goals. The website audit didn't happen, like I said. I feel like we do have more clarity on how we want to tackle the website, so I'm going to work on that this week. For the personal goals, it is Micah's birthday. He is turning 6 this Friday, and he has his birthday party on Saturday. So the focus is getting the backyard ready, buying supplies, and paying for everything, like the rentals, the vendors, and all of that stuff. So that's going to be the personal focus for us this particular week. And then update on the vanity project. I did not get that done like I said I was going to, so that is going to be part of the focus for this week. Not as much as the party stuff, but I want to do at least one thing that will make me feel like I've moved that project forward, because it has been a while since anything has happened with the vanity project. I can share something really vulnerable with you guys for our story time. It would be about a dream that I had about my mom. And if you want to read about it, I wrote and dedicated a letter to my mom on Substack when the dream happened, because the dream was really intense and I remember being really sad. And like I said, I wrote a lot about my feelings and what happened in the dream in my Substack newsletter. So feel free to go check that out if you want to. But it really shook me, and it made me realize that for a little while, because life has been lifing, I just haven't really gotten a chance to think about my mom. And one of the things that I realized when I finally sat down to reflect, because the dream really shook me, was that it was around her death anniversary, when we had her funeral, and when her birthday was. And the first few months of when she passed away, it was such a roller coaster of emotions, because we celebrated her 65th birthday at the time, and then she got really sick right after. She was in hospice, and then she passed away, and then we had her funeral. So it was just such a roller coaster time for us as a family that around January and February, most of the time, I do get really sad because I think about her a lot. I relive that time a lot. And so it's really difficult for me to just kind of start on January 1st with this like goal-oriented mindset. It's just a natural time for me to kind of hibernate and rest and reflect and just kind of think and reminisce about my mom. I figured for today's story time, I would tell you a little bit about her. There's so much that I would want to share, but if you haven't met my mom, let me start with this, and maybe this can be kind of a series of whenever I happen to think about her, or when my heart aches, I can share more about her or a specific memory that I might have about her. But let me introduce you to my mom. So my mom had a huge impact on me. And though we weren't very close in the sense of we would talk a lot about emotions and feelings, and we would talk about intimate things, we wouldn't do that, but we spent a lot of time together. And there are a lot of things that are in me that I know I got from her. And so one of the things that has been such a core commonality between her and I is just our entrepreneurial spirit. She was one of the 4 that originally started the Ninong's brand, and to be able to continue the legacy has been the honor of my career. It has been the highlight of my career. It has opened up so many doors. It has helped me to meet so many people that I now consider my friends. And so she has been such a pivotal person in just shaping who I am as an adult, even though a lot of my, older adult years, she has not been here physically. And I spent a lot of it with her at home, going through treatment or recovering from treatment, and I felt the responsibility of continuing the legacy. So I was always working, I was always at the restaurant, but I always wanted to be there for her. And if there's one personality trait that her and I really share, I think it's that mindset of community and family. She was always a very, very welcoming person. When I grew up, our house was the house where family would come when they wanted to start their life here in the United States. It was kind of that house where you can come, my mom would feed you, would house you, you could stay there until things get settled, you're on your feet, and you were ready to start your life on your own. That was our house. So there was tons of aunts and uncles and cousins that came and lived with us. And that idea of community and helping out your family or your friends or your loved ones so that they can fulfill a dream is something that is a core value to me and is so important to me. And I'm so grateful that that's something that I was exposed to and was was able to witness, because I care so much about my community, and I don't think I would have that same care and passion and love for the people around me if I didn't see it with my very own eyes with my mom and dad as an example. Thank you so much for listening to today's Monday Musings episode. If you enjoyed it or you think it would be useful to someone else, please do share it with a friend. And for the full Monday Musings experience, please subscribe to the Substack at justkissa.substack.com. And until next time, know that you are a blessing, and I am so glad you're here. Bye, friends.